Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. Please do subscribe if you're new around here, and if you can take the time to like the video and drop a quick comment right now, it makes all the difference for the videos getting pushed towards more people. I really want to push it this year and help us to sort of really grow on YouTube. So if you can do that, it's massively appreciated. But we're going to talk today about the FIFA or EA Sports 24 ratings. I keep calling it FIFA 24 and it's not FIFA 24. The ratings have been leaked. FUT Scoreboard on Twitter. If you don't know them, go and follow them. They're really, really good. We're not scared here in this channel to talk about other sort of content creators or other people that do stuff. They leak them all, and they're also onto a website called More FUT, which has the leaks on it. They're interesting to say the least, in my opinion. There's a couple there that I just think are a bit ridiculous. But it is what it is. The first thing that I want to talk about is I think the elephant in the room. Let me just get it up again. The elephant in the room when it comes to a disparity in rating, okay? This, to me, is wild. Absolutely wild, okay? Messi and Ronaldo having 4 ratings between them. Now, some people are Messi fanboys, some people are CR7 fanboys. I'm a CR7 fanboy. I think it's the greatest ever. I understand people that think Messi is, but the disrespect to Ronaldo is ridiculous, like absolutely ridiculous. To say the guy has 77 pace, the guy is still rapid as anything. He is not 77 pace. While I understand the downgrade because he's gone to the Saudi League, he did have a pretty decent season before that, but he's gone to the Saudi League, I get it. We cannot be having a player in the MLS, in my opinion, who's done all right recently, but isn't like blowing the world up. I know he's doing incredible in the MLS, at 90 rated in my opinion. Now, for me, the fairer place probably would have been Messi at sort of 88, Ronaldo at 87, purely because Messi won the World Cup. I get that's going to hold his rating up. But 90 rating for Messi? Really? Do we really think he's that? But moreover, to have the audacity to say he's faster. Now, I understand people that say Messi's more technically gifted, a better dribbler. Cool, I can understand that. But to suggest Messi's faster than Ronaldo is a nonsense. There is no way on this earth that Messi is faster than Ronaldo. And I just sometimes with EA, the moment a player gets to a certain age, they chop their legs off and make them very, very slow. And it's not always the case. It's really not the case. And if that means a player has to hold a higher rating because you're giving them the pace they deserve, in my opinion, so be it. You can whack down like the passing a little bit if need be, if you really wanted to make him 86 rated. For me, it's mental that Ronaldo basically is fodder from the moment the game comes out. I get that for him or for Messi, it does leave a bit of room for promo cards and stuff like that, which is probably the next point I want to talk about. The highest rated cards this year, again, are 91. Now, I think, in general, the ratings are decent. Haaland getting a +3, I think, is the right move. It's weird though because he's got a +3, but some of his stats have actually been reduced. So I'm not sure it will be things like his in-game stats that have caused the rise, I guess, if that makes sense. Mbappe, Haaland, De Bruyne was what I thought would happen. Putellas, I understand. Now, the women in the game, I'm all for it. I know some people are against it. Let me know down below if you're for or against women in the game. I am all for it. I just don't really get how it's going to work when it comes down to linking them up, and also some of the ratings. I look at some of the ratings and some of the women, and they're much more overpowered than their male counterparts. We'll have a look at that in a second. But Mbappe, Haaland, De Bruyne, I'm not against. There's 91, and Putellas, I understand she's incredible. 91, fine. We start to move down. Messi, Kerr, Lewandowski, Benzema obviously in the Saudi League now, still got a 90 rating. But I'm looking at some of these cards. So this Graham Hansen, this card is absolutely ridiculous for a 90 rated card. 89 pace, 86 shooting, 88 passing, 91 dribbling, 75 physical. That is a ridiculous card. Like an absolutely mental card. Now, I think a lot of the women may be cheap because I think some people are not going to want to use the women in the game. There's a lot of people that for some reason are really anti the women being in the game, but happy to use Peter Cech at striker, for example. I do get some of the disparity there. Like what they've done is they've made women sort of given them stats as if they're equivalent to the men. If you look at Sam Kerr, for example, she's got 84 physical. I'm like, okay, like have you got more physical than De Bruyne really, or Mbappe? I'm not so sure, but it is what it is. But this Graham Hansen card's ridiculous. Now, if we compare it to Neymar, Neymar's actually 1 rating lower. Now, she's faster, She's got better shooting. She's got better passing. She has less dribbling. She has more defence and more physical. Now, so I understand she may be a fantastic... I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I am a women's football expert. I watched the World Cup. I know some of the players. I get it. I know just some of the like sort of more well-known players and whatever. Graham Hansen may be an incredible player in real life, okay? But how is that card +1 yet so much better? It's +3 faster, +4 shooting faster, +3 passing faster. I get -3 dribbling, okay? +10 defending faster and +14 physical faster. Better. I keep saying faster, I mean better. I don't get it. I'm going to be honest, I don't get it. I'm really not sure where that's come from or how that's come about. But yeah, it is what it is. Then you've got this Diani, okay? So I want to try and find a striker to compare Diani with. I did find one the other day. We'll go with Benz, okay? 79 pace, 88 shooting, 83 passing, 86 dribbling, 39 defending, 78 physical for Benzema. Now the guy's an absolute machine, okay? Absolute machine. Then we look at Diani, okay? Ridiculously quick, yes, less shooting, passing, dribbling, like, again, better, or as good as, and then one less physical than Benzema. Like, anyone that watches football knows Benzema is huge. Absolutely massive. He is built, he is strong, he's actually relatively quick compared to what EA say he is, but I get that they sort of weirdly think he's not fast. I don't get it. Like, I really, really don't understand. Now, I'd understand if she was fast and her shooting and whatnot, but I just feel like they haven't really compared it to the men. I'm not saying you've got to make every woman weaker than the men. I'm not at all, because there are some women that are going to be strong and whatnot, and it is comparatively to other women in the game, I guess. But I just think there's a little bit of a problem here when you're comparing them and you're putting them in a game directly with men when the stats sort of just seem to be better. And it just seems like they've pumped up the women's stats all across the board, no matter what the card is. Now, that might be to encourage people to use them, because for myself personally, I'll use whatever card I think is good. So if I get a Diani, I think she's great, she's getting used. Simple as that. I don't care whether or not she's a female or male, she's getting used if she's good enough, right? But I feel like it might have been to encourage people to use the cards in game. And obviously, if you compare, like, I don't know, this Diani to Benzema might beat her in a race. I don't know sort of how fast they are, but he might beat her in a race or whatnot. I get you've got to do it comparatively to other women or whatever the standard is in the women's game. But when you sort of give them these sort of stats and make them ridiculously quick and fast and whatnot, I do think you're going to get some backlash, because there to me is a slight problem in the way they're setting the stats out. Like, you've got Vinny Jr., who's one of the best players in the world at the moment, in my opinion, who looks like a good card. Obviously, he's going to have the 5-star skills, but I don't think he's... If you compare him to the likes of maybe that Graham Hansen, I'd probably rather use that Graham Hansen. She looks absolutely ridiculous. Like, Mohamed Salah, again, compared it to the Graham Hansen, and Graham Hansen's probably a bit more of a well-rounded card overall in terms of what she does. Kimmich isn't there for some reason, I'm not sure why. Then you've got like Dabinia and whatnot, Pop and stuff like that isn't anything special. Renard, who's an incredible defender, but she's just a bit old now, so they've obviously chopped her legs off as well. Guro Reiten, again, left mid, pacey, passing, shooting, dribbling, like as good as, well, better than some of her sort of counterparts that are male that are compared to them, basically, if that makes sense. So when you directly compare them, there are anomalies. Valverde, for example, looks like he's going to be absolutely ridiculous this year, like unbelievable card to start the game off. I got Valverde last year and he stayed in my team for ages. This year he's going to be even better. But I just think that they've pumped him up to a certain level, like Smith, for example, again here, ridiculous pace, unbelievable physicals with dribbling, shooting. So I actually had a look at her on YouTube, and 82 physical seems extreme. Don't get me wrong, she's a machine, but at the same time, there's a little bit of a sort of issue I've got there with the way that they've done them. In terms of the actual leaks themselves, I think EA have got it relatively, they've sort of done it relatively well this year. I don't think there's many players that you look at and go, I'm sorry, what? Like, how are they there? Like, I think they've got it pretty solidly on in terms of setting it out. I think for me, the only issue would be the Messi and Ronaldo sort of chasm between the two of them. I think there's a problem there for me. But outside of that, the ratings are really, I think they're really solid. I think they're really, really, really decent, solid choices this year from EA. And I think we've got to give them credit, because what I think they've done is give some really good ratings, and I think they've really captured where players are in the world at the moment. There are a few anomalies, like I say, but they've captured it really well. But they've also left room for promo cards. So cards, they've not just banged everyone up with really, really high ratings. They've left room for a player to get a promo card or two throughout the year to allow for informs maybe to have more of a value this year. And I think they've done a really decent job of it. They've done a really, really decent job of it. And I like to see that, you see the Arsenal players have been given a really nice boost. I like that it seems like for the first time in a long time they've really rewarded players that had good seasons last season. I think Saka's 87 this year from 82, which is much more of an accurate rating for him in my opinion. I think he's a unbelievable young talent and really is doing it already in the Premier League. I like it. I do think the ratings are good this year. What I would like to see potentially is some of these players maybe being given a better weak foot upgrade. Odegaard, for example, we know he's heavily one-footed, but it's a half-decent card. He's just not going to be that usable if he maintains a bad weak foot all year. Like if he starts with a bad weak foot, okay, cool. But when these players get promo cards, I really would like to see EA pump them right up and make them fantastically usable. More weak foots, more skill moves. Just because I really want to have fun in the game this year. And I would like to see that happen. Or players like Martinez, who's unbelievable for shooting, really give him a nice pace whack on a promo card so you can use him it's sort of going on in the game. But they are good. I think the ratings are really, really good. I think they pumped up the women just a little bit to make them more appealing for people that are gammon and don't want to basically play with these players. That's just the way some people are. So I get that thought process behind it, but I don't also think they've been thought out very well. Probably comparatively to the men. I think maybe less so that the women should have been sort of downgraded, whatever. It's more that some of the men needed to then be upgraded in certain stats to make it more realistic. Benzema should see more physical, for example, and Ronaldo should see more pace, just to balance, sort of counterbalance what you're going to do, because the women are compared with women, men are being compared with men, but it then leads to this big sort of chasm between the two of them where sometimes you're like, hang on, does that really make sense? But it is what it is. Let me know what you think of the ratings down below. If you disagree with me, it's perfectly fine. I think what I've said is relatively fair, but you never know. There's also going to be someone there like, no, you got that wrong. But please do subscribe if you're new around here. Click the like button, all that awesome stuff. But for now, I'm out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.